2022 has been a year of ups and downs. The American economy, which affects the whole world, has not performed that well. But even with that, African startups raised a staggering $4 billion between January to September, which is just 9 months if you calculate it. $500 million short of what they raised in the whole of 2021. Well, in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 10 of the most funded businesses in Nigeria for the 2022 calendar year. It is important that you note that 10 of these businesses combined together raised over $681 million, and there are other awesome businesses that raised good money but still did not make this list. Before you jump into the video, do me a favor by smashing the like button, guys, and if you love business and finance, subscribe to the channel. And without much talk, let's dive right into today's video. Let's go. Starting off at number 10, we have Seamless HR, which announced that they had raised over $10 million in a Series A funding round early in January of 2022. They went on to say that this funding will be used for its next phase of growth and regional expansion. For those that might be wondering, what solution is this company providing? Seamless HR is a Nigerian-based company that wants to help African businesses leverage on its greatest asset, which is human capital. They provide you with a cloud-based software that helps you manage your employees and keep track of their salaries as well, everything being automated. The business started off as a job site that crawled for jobs on multiple job sites, and then they used their in-house recruitment system to match employers to job seekers. After several iterations and testing of the market, they went on to switch from a B2C business model into a B2B business model, going on to also rebrand their name from Inside the File to Seamless HR, OmniBiz. In the month of August, a couple of Nigerian startups announced that they had raised money for their business, but the one that stood out was the one of OmniBiz, as they announced they had raised over $50 million for their pre-Series A funding round. This money OmniBiz raised for their business was powered by Timon Capital, which is a ventures firm based in the city of Lagos. They also have participation of 5 other different ventures firms who actually came together to help them raise this amount of money for their business. Now, for those asking, what service does OmniBiz provide to the marketplace? Present in over 12 cities in Ghana and Nigeria, OmniBiz provides retailers with a fully integrated digital platform. Retailers can now conveniently purchase and restock from over 200 brands using the OmniBiz app. The company was founded in 2019 by Deepank Rustag, who is an Indian by blood but Nigerian by birth and form. He has actually spent over 25 years in Nigeria, and OmniBiz is not actually his first business. He has run a business called VConnect, which was quite popular back then in Nigeria, but seems like the business is dead, and hopefully this won't be the case for OmniBiz. GreatPal. Just like OmniBiz, GreatPal raised over $50 million in debt and equity to scale its BNPL product across Africa. For those who don't understand, BNPL means buy now, pay later. So for example, let me say you have a product you want to purchase now, but you literally have no money. You can make use of GreatPal to purchase that product now and then make payments for that product later. So buy now, pay later. Hope you understand. The company was founded by Fehintolu Olaogun and Olunfemi Jegede back in 2018. GreatPal was one of the early pioneers of buy now, pay later in Nigeria, as back in 2018, not many people knew what BNPL meant. In fact, when the product launched in 2018, they found it very difficult to get customers, as many people thought the product was a scam. They had to literally offer customers credit cards they could use to buy products and pay later, and they used this strategy to actually get customers, as customers loved the idea of using a credit card to buy a product and not using their own personal money. So they use this strategy to actually secure their first customers and survive that initial time that they started. Wendy's. Following the effects of the COVID-19 and the war in Ukraine, food prices in Nigeria have soared to a 17-year high. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, inflation rate in Nigeria rose to 20.52% back in August, the highest it has been since October of 2005. A recent market survey as well shows that food prices have risen by over 100% in the last 5 years. Providing a solution is Wendy's, a Y Combinator-backed digital platform that focuses on procuring and preserving food, while also helping restaurants get access to financial services to help them power their business in general. The company was founded back in 2020. 2 years later, which is now in 2022, they announced that they raised 30 million USD in debt and equity Series A funding to help them expand their business to other cities in Nigeria. Coming number 6 is a startup called Reliance Health.
At Reliance HMO, we're using mobile phones, telemedicine, and data science to make health insurance cheaper and easier to access for pretty much everybody in Nigeria, hopefully across the rest of Africa.
Early in February, Reliance Health announced that they had raised over 40 million USD in a Series B funding round to enable it to expand. Report says that health tech in Africa could reach a market value of over 11 billion USD by 2025. So Reliance Health wants to play a pivotal role in helping the continent reach this capitalization. They use an integrated process to provide health insurance and telemedicine via partnership with hospitals and healthcare facilities across the country. Team APT, which is a fintech-focused startup, announced in the month of August that they had secured over 50 million USD funding to expand its credit offering. According to an article by TechCrunch, the company went on to say that they are not assigning a letter to this particular funding round. However, we could classify it as a pre-Series C funding because the company is still looking to raise a proper Series C funding in the 2023 calendar year. Team APT was founded in 2015 by Tosin Eniolorunda, and their vision is to basically digitize the African economy, and they are doing this by pushing out products such as MoneyPoint, which has the largest POS network of agents across Nigeria and Africa, processing over 100 billion USD in annualized run rate transactions. Thrive Agric. As 2022 opened up, in the month of March to be precise, there are headlines everywhere that one of the biggest agri-tech startup in Nigeria, Thrive Agric, had raised over 56.4 million USD in a debt financing deal to expand to other parts of Africa. Currently, there are over 200,000 farmers that use the Thrive Agric solution to sell their products to FMCGs and food processors, while also still getting access to financing from Thrive Agric. According to reports, Thrive Agric's revenue in the past 5 months grew by over 5-folds, with a year-on-year increase of over 277% in farmers' numbers. This is actually good news for the investors in this business, as back in 2020, the business was doing so bad that they had to shuffle up the management. Move, which is a Nigerian automobile financing startup and also an Uber exclusive partner, announced early in March 2022 that they had raised over 105 million USD in debt and equity to power its global expansion and not local. Personally, when I saw this headline, I was quite surprised because I actually do not know about this company. Then waking up one day to see this type of headline that this company raised this amount of money was actually surreal to me. I had to go do some digging. Doing my research, I came to understand the solution this company is providing to the marketplace. Move, which was launched in 2020 by Ladi Delano and Jide Odunsi, helps ride-hailing drivers to purchase brand new vehicles using a percentage of their weekly revenue. The company is currently present in 6 African countries and is looking to expand into more countries, and like I said earlier, globally. At number 2, we have Interswitch. Interswitch, which you can call the father of fintech in Nigeria and Africa, announced in the month of May 2022 that they had raised over 110 million USD in funding. Interswitch going on to say that this latest investment will help the company scale its digital payments across the continent. If you can recall earlier, I mentioned you could call Interswitch the father of fintech in Africa. Probably you might be wondering, why would I make such a statement? Well, unlike many Nigerian fintech startups that were launched between 2010 to 2020, Interswitch was launched in the year 2002 and went on to disrupt Nigeria's cash-driven economy by introducing digital payments and switching services. When Interswitch entered the Nigerian financial scene, it was estimated that less than 200,000 people had access to internet, while many were still adjusting to their newly acquired mobile devices.
Fuck shit, man.
Yeah, mama the mama.
Interswitch went on to become Nigeria's first e-payment service that is connected to all banks, and today the company provides payment rails for Nigeria's banking system. The company is also known for its consumer products like Verve and QuickTeller. And finally, at number 1, we have Flutterwave. Flutterwave, which is one of the leading payment processors in Nigeria and Africa as a whole, announced in February that they had raised over 250 million USD at a valuation of $3 billion, stating that the money will be used to speed up its customer acquisition in places they are currently operating in, and also to grow the business through M&A, which is merger and acquisitions of other businesses. The funding of Flutterwave is actually the biggest in the 2022 calendar year, but hopefully in 2023 we could have companies raise even bigger money. One key thing I actually noticed in this funding round is that most of the money these companies raised would be used for expansion and not really like growing the business. Expansion, growing, they're almost the same thing though. But another important thing I actually noticed again was that most of the financing method they used was debt financing, which means that the money that they raised, they would very, very likely repay the people that invested in their business. I'm actually trying to understand more about debt financing. If you have more knowledge about this, please drop a comment. I would really love to learn from your own point of view. And if you enjoyed this video, do not forget to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you love business and personal finance. And without much talk, see you on the next one. Deal.